Yeah, so my name's Andreas Rutkauskas. I'm born on Treaty 1 territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I moved to the Okanagan for work. I followed a job with UBC at the Okanagan campus back in 2016, and then I moved back to Calgary after that year and came back in 2018. So it was really employment that brought me here. And in terms of the impact on my practice, especially regarding the work in the Ebb and Flow exhibition, I would say that I learned a lot about fire through this process. When I moved here in 2016, and the following summer we had really intense fires and floods. And so I went out with my camera with a very simple question in mind: what does the aftermath of a wildfire look like? And in the time that's passed, I think wildfire has taken a dominant position within the media rhetoric, but also contemporary art. So I feel like I've learned a lot about the history of the land here, how fire has moved through the Okanagan, and who traditionally has applied fire to the land. There are three photographs on display in the Ebb and Flow exhibition, and I wouldn't consider them a triptych, but they're part of a larger series titled Silent Witnesses. And this work was realized using a mixture of ambient and artificial light, although the three images on display are primarily illuminated using artificial light. One of the images is particularly stark. However, the other two present evidence of renewal and ecological restoration following wildfire. So in one of the images, we see the ground is covered in few-flowered shooting star. In another one of the images, the understory is filled with fireweed, which has not yet blossomed. And I feel that it's that tension, that juxtaposition between the stark, charred husks of these trees and the vegetal regrowth. I think timing was very important in terms of the photography. Most of the images in that series were made in the springtime, which is the most verdant time following a wildfire. In terms of how the works pertain to the larger theme, I mean, the exhibition is segregated into different elementals, and I think in terms of fire, Fern Helfand and myself are the representatives of fire. I think our approaches are symbiotic in some ways, but also dissimilar. In my case, using the artificial light allows me to highlight individual members of the more than human community. So whereas my earlier body of work around fire focused on a collective, I would say that Silent Witnesses focuses more on the individuals within the forest community. I think with a small selection of photographs, 3 in this case, it's difficult to fully articulate the ideas behind my work into post-fire landscapes. However, I hope that the images on display would compel people to search out past exhibitions, other didactic materials, or even consult my website or social media to see how I speak largely about wildfire. I think that one thing that I've learned a lot about in my time in the Okanagan is regarding the different types of fire that move across the land. The so-called good fire, a term that has been popularized by Amy Cardinal Christensen, versus bad fire. I mean, we saw in 2023 the destruction that was brought by the McDougall Creek wildfires, right? So fire can be really bad, but I think that the thing that's important to recognize is that historically there were far more fires of low and moderate intensity moving across the land here, and it was through suppression, centuries-long history of fire suppression through colonialization that has resulted in fuel loading in the forests that produce these very large, dangerous interface fires. So hopefully that's something that members of the public who see the exhibition or people who look into my work, that's hopefully a message that they come away with, is the concept that not all fire is bad and that it is an important element, right? To consider amongst the others, earth, air, and water. It's a fundamental aspect of ecological renewal here in the Okanagan, and fire adapted ecosystems exist on every continent with the exception of Antarctica, as I'll be quick to point out. So it's important that we learn to live cooperatively with fire on the land. ArtsCo is fundamental. I think that artist-run centers and public institutions that support the arts in the Okanagan are fundamental. As somebody who lived for 12 years in Montreal, a large metropolitan center, the Okanagan is not that, right? It's a small regional city. And I think that any organization that fosters community, that brings together artists, right, of different disciplines are significant. I think the ArtsCo exhibition space is a really unique exhibition space. And I think furthermore, the curatorial aspect of Ebb and Flow has been really significant in terms of providing a platform for artists who are engaged in environmental practice. I think living here for almost a decade now and teaching at UBCO, I think that's something that is really prevalent amongst the public at large, as well as the artistic community here, is ecological art and practices that engage with art and ecology. And so I think that the curatorial theme in this case for Ebb and Flow was really important. And I think that it's been really well received within the community.